Good morning from Cuenca, Ecuador. We are up early because we're going on a road trip, but this one isn't too far away. It's only 20 minutes. We're heading to just outside Cajas National Park to stay in a geodesic dome with Nomada Glamping for the night. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know recently I've been just talking about cattle ranching and the damage it is doing because of the deforestation here in Ecuador. So as we're driving through up the hill to Cajas, we just drove through this major patch where there was this giant boulder, all of these rocks, houses were destroyed. We just saw a house that was destroyed. And so when you look at Cajas, you think on the way to Cajas, you're like, oh my God, but there are all these trees. And so I said to Andreas, like, how did this happen? Where did this boulder come from? And so when you look up, you see trees, but right behind it is pasture land. And so they are clear cutting. And when there's nowhere for the rain to go, because the trees are what used to stop it from coming down, the rain comes down and it takes these giant boulders with them. I've never seen anything like that. A house was just demolished by this giant boulder, rolled down the hill across the street and into the house. Anyway, so this continues my struggle about eating beef here in Ecuador, because you see like, oh, we want to eat it, but then this cattle making all of this pasture land, the long-term effects of it is devastating. It should not be on the mountains. Like, mountains are not meant to be raising cattle. So we just arrived at El Sendero, and it's like a whole unit. There looks like there's a little park. You can go fishing. They have different types of accommodation, and they've just asked us if we would like a welcome drink. All right, so starting off, we're having this drink, and it's made with Tipo, which is a herb that you'll find in Cajas, and it's actually really good for altitude sickness. So at first I thought it was canelazo because it smells so nice and warm, but actually canelazo uses naranjilla and cinnamon, but this actually uses Tipo. So a little bit different, but also still has aguardiente, the unprocessed sugarcane alcohol. So perfect for going on a hike and warming up after one. Oh, they were very generous with this welcome drink. There's still naranjilla in here, right? No, it's just
the sugarcane.
It's just sugarcane alcohol and Tipo. So this spot is actually really interesting. It's two businesses, so El Sendero, the restaurant, and then also Nomada Glamping, where you stay. It's two brothers, so two family businesses. And this used to be owned by other owners who have a lot of religious artifacts all around. They also have other statues like bears, eagles. It looks like there are some Incan statues here, just a lot of different statues around. And the brothers decided that they were just going to keep it here. And so I think it's actually kind of interesting. I'm not religious, but still I can enjoy all of the statues for the artwork and the sculpture that it was made. All right, so there are 3 domes here, and this is ours. I can already tell from the outside. It looks so nice. Nomada Glamping. And here it is. Welcome to the Temple of the Men. right, so with that Drake, have so much more energy, and so we've decided, since check-in is 3 p.m., we're gonna go for another walk through here. So one of the things that is interesting is there are a lot of religious figures here, and so to come into the different trails, you actually pass by a really impressive set of statues. I am not a very good Catholic, so I don't know what any of them means, but whoever made them, very talented. It is really beautiful through here. I love this little bridge. Oh yeah, you can smell the pine cones for sure. On a little river. All right, so I talked about water a little bit in my Cajas National Park video, talking about the reason why you can drink water in Cuenca is because of this national park. That is the source for water. Now, in the national park, there is no human activity whatsoever, no agriculture, no mining, nothing. The area that we're in right now is actually the buffer zone. So this is private property, and people here get a bit of a pass because they owned this land before Cajas became a national park and the regulations came into effect. However, these areas are still a highly regulated territory. You can't just do anything you want here. And that's because the city of Cuenca wants to keep Cajas as a source of pure and clean water. And so the city is very active in working with everyone in this area to ensure that. And so when people talk about, can you drink the water in Cuenca? Is it clean? Absolutely, it's clean. I drink it. That said, if you're new to Cuenca or new to a country, sometimes you can drink the water anywhere. Like, I'm from Nova Scotia. Sometimes maybe if I drink it in Calgary, the minerals or things might be a little bit different, and so that might upset my stomach. But you will not get sick from the water here, or just like I don't get sick from the water in Calgary. This is a really special place, a special ecosystem. All of these trees, the vegetation, this is what keeps the water clean for Cuenca. And so I think most people here really want to preserve that because it is special and doesn't happen everywhere. So as beautiful it was at the beginning of the walk, this is so much better. Pine tree is actually not from Ecuador. It's not native. 100 years ago, they actually used most of the native plants, and they take the trees like 100 years to mature. And so instead of waiting 100 years so that they would have more wood, they planted 2 trees that are found throughout Ecuador, and that is pine and eucalyptus. And so all of these mountains would have looked so different 100 years ago. But now that we've come up a little bit, we've actually come up past most of the pines, and all of these things right here, these are all native plants. And the reason why we need these native plants is that they really grasp that water, and they're also a home for birds. And so as soon as we came up to this area, we started to hear birds chirping. Birds from this area do not want to be in North American trees. They actually want to be in these trees. It's so interesting walking with a bird watcher because Andreas noticed immediately as soon as he saw these trees to pull out his camera because we would see some birds. These are all of the native trees, and then over there you can see the pines. Pines are beautiful, they smell fantastic, but nothing is better than these small native trees. This is like the jungle part of the walk, so not an official part of the hike, but they told us there was a path where the water hoses go, so we could walk further. I am very happy that I'm dressed properly right now because this is deep forest.
This area right here is the transition between the mountain forest that we saw in the lower area of the national park and the next ecosystem, the Páramo.
crazy because these bromeliads have this stem come up through them, kind of like the agave plants. And then at the top, they've got these big flowers. This one has already flowered and is now dead, but it's just so cool. Climbing up this hill, you can now see you have the pasture land and then you have the trees. And then you can see where the tree line starts to end and the Paramo begins. So the Paramo is an area unique to the Andes, and everyone talks about the Amazon as being the source of oxygen. But actually the Paramo, even though it doesn't have a lot of trees, everything is quite small, it actually processes more CO2 than the Amazon. All right, we made it to the top. Well, at least as far as we wanted to go. It's quite nice. This view is fantastic. Look at this view. This has been a really nice walk, but one of the things I have learned is that it's actually harder to come downhill than it is to go up. Also, these bromelias, the thorns aren't just like straight out thorns, they're like hooks. So you have to make sure you don't walk close to them, and you definitely don't want to fall into one. So this walk, there's like a formal walk that's about 15 minutes, and then you get to this big statue of Jesus. That's the end of the formal trail. And this is the one where you can still continue to go up, but it's a makeshift trail, so not quite as easy. But the 15-minute one is actually quite easy. All right, guys, we timed this perfectly. Right after our hike, it started raining and it was time to check in. And it is so cozy in here. Look at this place. The first thing we both noticed was it smells amazing. It smells like a spa, like in a really good way, like a natural smell. What do you think it smells like? Yeah, like a vanilla, just nice, clean, fresh smell. It's so nice. Now, this is not my first time in a dome. This is my third geodesic dome. So I feel like I'm not an expert, but I've been around a few. And this one is so nice. All three were very different. This one is super cozy. I love the furnishings here. So they've got lights underneath a bed. It looks like a big comfy bed. And then these two chairs here, they've got some wine, chocolate. And then because this area can be a little bit chilly, there's also this little fireplace here. It's just so cute, like very cozy. And I'd love to say that I'm disappointed that it's raining, but I'm not. I just want to hang out in here. And so we have all afternoon, all night just to chill here, and it's fantastic. Today has been a bit challenging. In the middle of our hike, I just got some messages that were just so frustrating. You know, when it's like you burn with fire inside. That's what happened to me. So it's nice actually that we were here, because I'm not gonna let this spoil my time. It's raining, we're in this cozy spot, we've got some wine, and we're just gonna like hang out, listen to music, and enjoy this view. And I'm going to let those messages go away. I'm not gonna let them spoil my time, because this place is really special, and so I wanna focus on, you know, the good things, not the things that I am going to try to forget. So we're here for dinner now. We had a fantastic afternoon of just like sitting around and chatting, and then we were like, oh my goodness, the time passed so quickly. It was 7 o'clock, but that is when dinner ended, and so we made it in time. We wanted to get 2 traditional dinners like of this region, and so Andreas got seco de pollo. His chicken smells so good. I was like, I'm a little bit jealous. He's got chicken, like this bean salad, and then he's got french fries and rice because seco always comes with 2 starches. And then I have like a plato típico, also amazing. So I've got yapping gachos, these potato cakes. I've got some pork, it looks like sancocho, mote, which is hominy, and then also salad. And then the best part, let me tell you, this just seals the deal for food with me. You know, like I love ají. And so when we ask for ají, I mean, here it's typically like tomate de árbol or tree tomato. This is pepa de sambol. This is pumpkin seed ají. And this takes it to another level. This is like, we're not just giving you a regular ají, we're giving you like the extra special outside of Cuenca ají. I love it. I've had it at the market before in Wallaceo. It's not easy to make because it's made with pumpkin seed and it is always so good. And so whenever you get it, I feel like you should just really be thankful for it. And this has like a really earthy taste. It's really good. I don't want you to eat all of the french fries. I'm just gonna have one of his french fries before I try mine out. Oh yeah, these french fries are good. This food, sancocho, mote, salad, yapingachos. This is the plato típico of this region. Yapingachos, the key to yapingachos is the crust. Ají on this. This is the perfect potato cake. Creamy on the inside, crusty on the outside. Now, I don't want the potatoes to steal the show because I have sancocho here.
Yeah.
This region is known for pork. So if you come to Cuenca, don't get the seafood. You want to try the pork. A little bit of ají on top. So good. Very tender, full of flavor. This ají is fantastic. The prices here are so reasonable. Now, we've eaten out at different places in this area, but I think yours was $4.90. The seco de pollo was $4.90, and then this was five something. It's really nice when you stay somewhere and the restaurant attached to the place that you're staying actually has fantastic food and reasonable prices. This is definitely what's happening here. Good morning. Here's a fun fact to start the day. Did you know that 67% of people who watched my last video are not subscribed? So if you are a subscriber, please let me know in the comments below if you'd like to stay in domes and you like these unique accommodations. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. It means so much to me. I have a little bit of a late start to the day, so it was just so cozy in here. There is a window up top, a skylight, but it's not too bright. Here, they had all these blankets and the heater. It was just amazing. I just had a really wonderful time and decided I didn't have to wake up with dawn. I could give myself a couple of hours to just kind of relax before heading back to Cuenca. I think this is a really nice option if you want to go to Cajas and have like a little bit of a hike during the day and then come back here. It really makes it a special place. I love these little unique accommodations, and what I really like about them is while they are a little bit more expensive, they're also lower impact tourism and helps people keep their land. It doesn't do as much damage. You have fewer people than, say, clear cutting it and putting in a huge hotel. So I would definitely come back here. Anyway, this is not the end of unique accommodation in Ecuador. I'm going to have more that I think you're going to like. If you have any that you're interested in seeing, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Join my Patreon community for more behind the scenes and exclusive content you won't find elsewhere. You can also find me on Instagram, and be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. All of these things make my day. Thank you so much for your support.